You are welcome. The career guys, you are not left out. Now is your time. We are going to be exploring more of career. We've seen more business in the previous sessions, so we are now diving into career. And initially we thought, let us have this as a breakout session just for the career guys. But we also figured this could be very beneficial to even the business people. So I would like to introduce Miss Chika Sonia Nzekwe. She is a resolute marketing communication expert committed to unleashing the potential of Nigerian youth through technology. Armed with an English degree and a suite of marketing certifications, she brings over 5 years of hands-on experience with businesses of all sizes. Currently, she tells stories focused on small businesses that have harnessed the business growth solutions offered by Traction Apps Limited, a financial technology startup in Lagos, Nigeria, whose mission is to bridge the payment gap for Nigerian small businesses. Beyond her professional work, she took on additional roles that allowed her to give back and foster growth in the community. She serves as the Programs and Community Manager for the Tech Entrepreneurs Community at the Covenant Nation. She has also taken the initiative to build a community dedicated to young professionals called the Review Community. Within this space, they address the skills gaps by providing valuable resources that empower young professionals to thrive in their careers. This endeavor is close to her heart as she firmly believes in the importance of mentorship and knowledge sharing to help individuals reach their full potentials. I want to encourage us to, with a resounding welcome, put our hands together for Miss Sonia as she comes to pick up the mic. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Fantastic. They've read my bio, but I would like for you to call me Sonia. And it's lovely having you all. Thank you for having me. Okay. Can we? So today I'll be, awesome, thank you. Thank you. Today I'll be talking to you about crafting a great CV. I mean, while I was told to talk about that, I decided to take an entirely different route because the truth of the matter is when it comes to job preparedness, CV is just one element in the grand scheme of things. So first things first, just so that I am certain of the demography of the crowd, I know that you're enjoying your food. Just loan me your ears and participate, okay? I like feedback, okay? Fantastic, awesome. So how many of us here are job seekers or are already working? Just indicate by wave of your hand. Job seekers, already working, awesome stuff, fantastic. How many of us own mobile phones? Android. Come on now, Android. Fantastic. Okay. Now, just for feedback, what do you use your phones to do? I genuinely just want to know, like, which of the apps do you spend most time on? Thank you. Guys, now echo the answers to me. Don't worry, I won't put the spotlight. WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok. You realize how I did not hear LinkedIn? I didn't hear Google. None of that. Right? So that goes on to tell you the impact of, in an extent, technology as opposed to using it for career advancement. Okay, before I even get started, so I titled this, Your Best Foot Forward in the Job Search. Now before I get to this, I'll talk to you a bit more about myself. as you already know, my name is Chika, Sonia, Nzekwe. I have worked with a good number of brands in the last 5 years of my career. I have done a lot of work in the marketing communications space. I've worked with Go-Kada, basically all the brands you can see there. And it might interest you to know that at the start of my career, this is something that I don't say openly, but at the start of my career, I didn't outrightly get out seeking jobs. And I'll be honest with you. Fresh out of school, someone reached out to me, told me there was an opening that they would want me to participate in. I filled in, and ever since, what has been happening is brand after brand has been reaching out to me. Now, the truth of the matter is this isn't something that happened by magic. No, it didn't happen by magic. I'm here today to walk you through practical steps on how to present your best foot forward. Are you with me? Guys, come on now. Are you with me? Fantastic. Okay, down. We already answered this question. Does anybody know what that phone is? Eh? 3310, Abby? Did you use it? Let's thank God for deliverance. But how many of us own like variants of this phone? The truth of the matter is, I think in recent time, I did a research and I found out that the human being's attention span is now shorter than that of a starfish. Do you know what that means? It means that the amount of information we consume on a daily is so cumbersome, and it is going to be really hard to keep humans entertained. Very hard. And you can't blame us, right? Because we live in a day and age where there is this huge chunk of information thrown at us. There's Twitter, there's Instagram. When a person sneezes, they post it online. There's the illusion of knowing what's going on in everyone's lives. So much so that we are consumed by their own activities as opposed to investing time in ours. Well, I digress. I just needed to point that out. But the topic today really is, how do we craft a CV? First things first is, what is a CV? If you put this on Google, there are a good number of information that Google will churn out to you. But if you ask me, this is my own definition. A CV is a representation of yourself to your prospective employer. Now, think of it this way. Before I came up here, there was before I even was selected as a speaker, I had to send my bio, I had to send a lot of things. A good number of you don't know me. But the information that was presented, to an extent, served as the piece of information that was judged before I was selected. Do you agree? Fantastic. Now, imagine if I had sent a shabbily written piece, or you had gone online to search for me, and what you find is something really displeasing. Would you be content listening to me? Echo your answers to me. Good. That is what a CV is. Now, you might be fresh out of school and you're wondering, how then do I present myself in a better format, so much so that I am enticing to this organization? How then do I craft this thing so much so that this organization is invested in the values that I have to offer? The truth of the matter is, anything is possible with the use of language. It depends on how you are able to present yourself. These days, they call it a good number of things. They call it branding, they call it packaging, all sorts. But at the core of it, it is how you bring yourself forward in the world of work. We live in a very saturated world where everybody is a lot more invested in how they look as opposed to the value they can bring to the table. They're a lot more invested in the things that they can post about their work as opposed to actually doing the work. They're invested in how they can present themselves. While presentation is important, it's equally important that you be that person of value. I believe I'm talking to Christians here. Fantastic. There's a portion of the Bible, I think it's in Proverbs 18 verse 16, that says, the work of a man speaks for him. Right? Now, the truth, yes, while it's important for you to always put your best foot forward, it's equally important that you do good work that will bring you forward. Okay? So at the core of it, what is a CV? A CV is a marketing material for yourself. It is how you present yourself to your prospective employer. So how do you present it? What kind of information do you want your prospective employers to have? Do you want them to know how old you are? Do you want them to know what tribe you're from? Do you want them to know what state you're from? Do you want them to know what locale that you live in? Do you want them to, or do you want them to know the skills that you have? Do you want them to know if you're currently acquiring a new skill? Do you want them to know that you've garnered years of experience working in varying industries? What exactly do you want your prospective employer to know about you? I'm going to be throwing a lot of questions and information at you, but please, just stay with me. If you ever get lost at any point, wave at me and I will pause, okay? Fantastic. Now, take your time, read through this. In as much as I've spoken about presentation, you can see it there. I put up 2 points. It's important. The CV has to look good, the content and visually. What do I mean by this? I am talking now, you're listening to me. If I was dressed in something shabby and I stood here, you would hear what I'm saying, but you won't listen. Do you agree? Good. That is the way a CV is. You might go and pick up the most beautiful templates and you fill in information that, God help you, there's typo there. You pretty much look like a strawberry. Fine for nothing. You are fine, but it's not sweet. Do you want to be that person? No. What you want to do is, when you're working on a CV, make sure that you have your content, but at the same time, if you don't have the energy to beautify it, choose a very simple template. Simple, because really, less is more. In the world of work, in the marketplace, less is more. Choose a simple template and present the information in a chronological order, so much so that information is not thrown so much at the employer that they get lost in everything that you're saying. Think of it this way. What kind of story do you want to tell with your career? If you're able to answer that question, you will be able to write or craft the best CV. So how do you craft a good CV? 1, choose the right format, right? Now you might be asking me, how do I get the right format? There are a good number of apps out there that you can make use of. For starters, you can use Canva. Canva is a free software. Canva.com, go there. It's a free software that allows you, with a good number of templates, all you need to do is fill in your information there and you can use it. It's free of charge. There's Canva. If you have a Gmail account, there's something called Google Docs. I don't know if you use it or not yet. How many of us have heard of Google Docs before? Fantastic. Google Docs also has templates for CVs. There's Google Docs. If you use Microsoft in itself has templates that you can use. Then to layer it on top, just go to Google and type it there. CV templates. I promise you would run out of ideas of what to put in. See, the beautiful thing or the blessing of having this good number of information thrown at you is, through the plethora of information that you have, you can fish through for substance. You can decide to narrow your way through all of these things that are thrown at you and pick out the piece of information that is substantial to you. So decide for yourself today. I'm not saying don't have fun. Dear, please have fun. Oh, me, I'm going to take selfies here. You can see the picture I put of myself. I know that I was going to share the serious one, but I needed to also share a not so serious one. So you understand that in everything you do, there needs to be a balance. Know the time you allocate for making sure that your career doesn't suffer for your fun. The balance is really important. Again, I digress. But yeah, first things first, choose the right format. Now, what do? Make sure that it is clean and professional. There are certain fonts that you are not supposed to use on a document that is corporate. You can't use cursive. No, now. It's not a birthday wish. It's a corporate document. You can't be using all those fonts that are dangling and dancing. No, you can't do that. Clean and professional format. If you're not sure what is, the one I currently use here is called the Leagues pattern. If you've done your projects in school, you use Times New Romance. That's a good one to go to. There is Monstera. They're plethora. While I say beautify, I not say trivialize. Yes, let it be beautiful, but stay within the confines of the professional setting. Make sure that the templates that you use is professional. Now, generally, the preferred format includes the sections for contact information, a summary, objective, all of that. I'll walk you through all of that right now. So just make sure that in the formats that you're picking, there are no exceptions to the things that are basic. Now, what are the basic things you need in your CV? You need a contact information because they need to be able to get in touch with you. You need to include your name because they need to know you. You need to include your work experience in a reverse chronological manner. Don't worry, I will make these slides available for all of you. I would share it with the team so that they can distribute it. All of this is written in detail there. You need to have your work experience written in a reverse chronological manner, so much so that they are up to date on the latest trends that's happening in your work life. You also need to have your skills listed, both technical and not technical skills, right? So these are the basic things that you can have on your CV. Now, while these are general, there are certain specifics depending on the context or the career line that you might need to have. What do I mean by this? I currently work in marketing communications, but it is not the same CV that a marketing communications person has that a website developer would have. For a web dev, the person would definitely need to have a GitHub account to be able to show that this thing they say they can do, they can do. If you're a writer, you need to have a portfolio. If you're a graphic designer, you need to have a portfolio. We are in a day and age where we are in a value-brazen economy, where for whatever demands you want to place in the market, you need to present value as well. You cannot just go forward and then expect that whatever you ask will be given unto you. While I understand that we are Christians and Matthew 7 verse 7 is a thing, you also need to come forward with value. Are you with me? Am I going too fast? Joshua? Fantastic, stay with me. Good. The second part I mentioned is contact information. I think I've gone through this already, so we'll just go to the next part. Now, your summary or objective statements. This is pretty concise. It doesn't need to be inflated. It doesn't need to be inflated. It doesn't need to be verbose. You don't need to blow your trumpet overtly. Just look for a succinct way, a short way, a concise way to present your value. So what do you do? How do you address yourself? What industry do you play in? What do you do in that space? If you're someone who follows the consumer circle from end to end, you can present your skills. So, hey, my name is this is what I currently do. I help businesses doing XYZ. In fact, one platform that would help you get all of this sweetly is LinkedIn. Take your time. Go and open a LinkedIn account if you haven't. Then sit down. First things first, you can do research. Look at I don't know who you aspire to be or what career line you're looking to aspire to be. Search for people that are currently playing in that space. It might look very far-fetched. Start from the facilitators of today. Look at their LinkedIn. Check for how they arrange certain pieces of information on their profile. Their name, what schools they went to, how did they enlist their work experiences, right? What kind of posts do they put up? Remember, certain platforms have the certain pieces of content that they thrive on. What thrives on TikTok will not thrive on LinkedIn. What thrives on LinkedIn will not thrive on Facebook. So it is paying attention to these things. And the interesting thing that I find about LinkedIn is by the time you're done building your profile and it is really substantial, you can download your CV. It's that easy. You can download your CV once you edit your LinkedIn profile properly. This is free information. Go there, fill in the pieces of information the way you want it to be. Your experiences, line it out. If you're fresh out of school and you're wondering, how then can I enlist the things that I have done? During your holidays, did you take on petty jobs? Go there and, frame it in the right manner. If you worked in your mom's shop as the sales attendant, go there and write it, sales representative. Your mom, the name of the shop, but make sure it's nice. Then list out your experiences. What did you do? Now, which is one of the reasons why I crafted the topic the way I did, because it's one thing for you to decide that you want to make your documents look a certain way, but you are not a certain way. I'm going to be asking you deep questions. How do you approach the work that you do? As Christians, can someone here tell me the reason why we are called Christians? I would have a gift for you. Tell me the reason why we are called Christians. Please come forward. Put your hands together for her, please. Guys, clap for her now. She has not got to say it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So we are called Christians because we are a follower of Christ.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Don't worry, you can see me after. Yes, we are called Christians because we are followers of Christ. At the same time, at the core of it, we are called Christians. The word Christians was formed in Antioch, and it means Christ-like. That's what it means, Christ-like. We are in church. We are the body of Christ. How did Christ present himself? The Bible tells us to be perfect the way our Heavenly Father is perfect. How do you approach work when you are given? It's one thing for me to tell you how to present your CV, how to use the right language, the right active language, but at the core of it, when you get the job, are you with me? Fantastic. Be concise. Please, I've seen someone that prepared a CV of 7 pages. Don't be that person. I don't want to know the kind of experience you've had. Keep it at 2 pages. If you're applying even to schools in the US or even applying to like international jobs, keep your CV at 1 page. I don't want to know what you've done. Keep it max 2 pages. And this is an extra layer. Please, there's a portion for references. Do not expose the information of your referrals. Let it indicate there, references will be made known upon request. It's not a do or die affair. The reason is we're in a day and age where data is gold, and you don't want to go out there putting people's pieces of information in the open. Okay? And then finally, please proofread. You do not want to have a typo on your CV. You do not want to have a typo on your CV. These are additional details. Use professional tone, keep your language professional, please though, don't use slangs, don't do it. Include quantifiable achievements. I already shed light on that. Be honest, don't exaggerate, don't lie. Keep your data correct, because they could actually spring it up on you during interviews. And if you're not able to defend it, it shows that you're a dishonest person. And I don't know what organization will want to employ a dishonest person. Have someone you trust look at your CV. A good number of people today would win a CV review from me if you show interest, right? So have someone who is maybe on your level or has more experience than you do, but have them look at your CV and give you feedback. Someone who's skilled at it. And then finally, update your CV regularly. Now for this one, I shared it with my colleagues, and I think that's something that will be helpful for you. When you start a new job, the best way to keep tabs of your data is open up a Google Sheet or a Google document for every single achievement that you've had at work. This is something that I do. So I work in content, and it's very easy to get carried away. You can write a piece of information and just think that, my English is sweet. That English that you've written, did it bring results? Did it bring money for the organization? Did it move the needle of the organization? Every single thing you do has to be results driven. Now, if you're working in a cross-functional role, maybe you're working with interdependent departments, when you work on something, be that person that goes back to find out how did it go. What was the result of that thing that I helped you with? When you get the data, go and put it in that your document. Keep it there. If you have a Google account, you have access to Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Docs. Keep it there. Put the dates, put the task, put the projects, put the results. It will come in handy when you are updating your CV and you want to apply to varying roles. Sometimes you are not even aware of the skills that you have up until you are thrown in there. I did not know that I had project management skills until I was thrown into some projects to be the project manager. And eventually, I did it on a small scale and a big scale. So, whatever the task is, just make sure that you keep tabs of your achievements. And yeah, remember that your CV is your marketing tool. Sell yourself to your potential employers. You should showcase your qualifications and the rest. Adapt it to match the requirements of each job that you apply for, and you will increase your chances of landing interviews. These are other tips, but I think I already mentioned that. Pay attention to keywords. Make your CV simple to read. Keep it brief. Include numbers. Okay, I already cited this example. Use active language. Don't worry, I will share this with you. I needed to point at this really quickly. There's a difference between a resume and a CV. A resume is very specific. So take, for example, they are asking for a particular role for a particular project, and you have that skill. Make sure that you highlight the detail of that skill for that role and you share. But your CV can include every single thing. So your resume might not even include your university education. It might just include that particular training you got for that role. Okay? So take, for example, I mentioned to you already, I do project management. I worked on a documentary. Before I did that, for me to show that I had done project management in the past, I crafted a one-word document that included the past projects that I had worked on, the skills that I had gathered in project management, and then I shared that. It did not include my university education. It did not include all my work history. No, none of that. It was very specific. So resumes are very, very specific, but CVs are generalistic. But at the same time, pay attention to keywords. We already spoke about this. Use it wisely, okay? And then my top three career tips, my top 3 tips for career growth. 1, invest in yourself. Listen, you are your best asset. God forbid, but everyone can leave you, but you can't leave yourself. So invest in yourself. Take on new skills. There's the University of YouTube. There's nothing you want to learn that you will not find there. How to boil egg is there. How to code is there. How to design, whatever. Take advantage of it, okay? Invest in yourself physically, career-wise, take courses, trainings, all that. Invent and innovate. This is important because the trends are changing, and you can't decide that you want to be rigid. I will not change, I'll just stay like this. By the time you wake up, you realize that you're ancient of this. Imagine that you were using 3310, and you now decide that, you know what? All the other things, they are works of the devil. I will not use them again. Imagine that. You now stay with 3310. Your mates have moved on. So pay attention to the trends. Then make sure that you adapt your skill, innovate yourself towards that line. What is the latest trend in your own industry? Pay attention to it. Do you code? What new languages are there? Find out, do your research. Connect with people in your community. Connect with like minds. Stay abreast of the information that's in that industry. Okay? Be a lifelong learner. Listen, the day we stop learning is the day we die. So keep seeking information. And by information, I mean every single piece of item that you can take in. I did not say you should go on Twitter and be finding out what's happening in other people's lives. So, no. Information, what's happening in certain industries. What can I learn today? What new skill can I learn today? Can I use Excel? Excel is such a powerful tool that people undermine. Can I type fast? Can I use Microsoft Word? If I can't, what tool can I use, to use that? And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I would have played this video for you, but again, you can get access to the slides. Yes, these were the scriptures that I posted, right? Be ye perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Listen, perfection is possible. It's a journey. It's not even about the destination. It's about the journey to that destination. Keep evolving, keep changing, keep working on yourself. While the CV is important, who you are, who you become on the journey is the most important. Because I promise you, there's a point in time in your life where you will not need a CV again if you put in the work. Okay? I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that,
Please, a round of applause for her once again, please. Thank you so much, Miss Sonia, for that outspoken session. So the way we'll do this time around is going to be different. Instead of me asking the questions, I want two people. If you have any question for Miss Sonia concerning all she has said, this is your time to shine. Anyone? Just two questions. Two questions. Going once, going twice. Okay, I see one hand over there. One hand over there.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, madam, for all that has been said. I don't know exactly